You usually start by trying to solve one specific problem. Maybe you buy zinc for an immune boost, or magnesium to help you sleep. But over time, you hear a new podcast or read a new article and slowly add another bottle, and then another. Before long, you become the kitchen sink optimizer. Your morning routine requires swallowing 15 to 20 different pills, all in the pursuit of maximum longevity and daily performance. However, piling these individual solutions together creates a new set of risks. Instead of peak performance, many people find themselves managing digestive distress or biological fatigue without knowing which of their 20 daily pills is causing it. The core trade-off here is between theory and reality. In theory, you are covering every possible nutritional base. In reality, you are throwing dozens of highly concentrated compounds into your stomach at the same time and hoping the chemical interactions sort themselves out. If you actually want to optimize your physiology, blind accumulation doesn't work. You have to pivot to ruthless auditing and consolidate your stack. Look at this matrix mapping supplement bottles against baseline nutrients. Mixing them without cross-checking triggers stack bloat. Redundancy appears immediately with vitamin D, a cheap filler in almost every complex. The same happens with zinc, appearing in both your multivitamin and immunity blend. Pharmaceutical companies formulate these complexes assuming you only take their specific product. But when you stack 4 of them together, you are accidentally megadosing these baseline nutrients on a daily basis. This is a massive financial drain. You often pay 3 different companies for the exact same inexpensive ingredient. Without mapping these overlaps, your daily pill routine is purely guesswork. If you feel great, or if you feel terrible, the sheer volume of inputs completely obscures which variable is actually responsible. The foundation of almost every stack involves basic vitamins and minerals. But because they are so common, this is exactly where the most dangerous redundancies occur. Take a look at this Sewello label. It provides a high-potency dose of 5,000 IUs of vitamin D3. On its own, that is a robust standalone daily intake. But then you add a basic Swiss bone health complex to your routine. It also contains vitamin D3 to aid with calcium absorption. Layer a Nutrilife immune formula on top of that, and you are now blindly triple dosing vitamin D, while simultaneously double dosing zinc. This forces a biological bottleneck known as an antagonistic interaction. Your body has limited absorption pathways, and an overabundance of one mineral will physically block the absorption of another. For example, if you chronically megadose zinc through overlapping supplements, that excess zinc actively crowds out and depletes your body's copper reserves. You literally induce a new deficiency by trying to prevent one. Trying to optimize your baseline with redundant complexes creates physiological imbalances that eventually require even more supplementation to fix. This chart plots supplement categories by cost and biological impact. If we move from basic vitamins up to the top right quadrant, we hit the next tier of the megastack, potent metabolic modulators used to regulate blood sugar and energy. Optimizers frequently buy highly marketed single-ingredient regulators, like this 1,200 milligram dose of berberine. But then they layer those targeted agents on top of generalized proprietary blends, like this blood balance formula, which is designed to achieve the exact same physiological outcome.
Stacking multiple compounds that actively lower your blood pressure or blood sugar without drawing daily blood work to track your biomarkers is playing a dangerous guessing game with your metabolism. Relying heavily on these concentrated extracts can also mask underlying dietary or lifestyle issues. Instead of fixing your sleep or your nutrition, you force yourself into a lifelong reliance on expensive pills just to maintain your baseline function. Metabolic modulators are incredibly effective tools when used precisely, but swallowing all of them simultaneously generates volatile physiological fluctuations rather than the stability you are actually paying for. The final layer of stacked bloat comes from niche Ayurvedic and herbal powders, which are stacked right on top of those synthesized vitamins and metabolic agents. It's easy to accumulate a massive volume of obscure botanical extracts, like this organic triphala powder, for general digestion. And right next to it in the pantry, you'll find an overlapping, ultra-concentrated botanical like amla extract, taken for similar holistic benefits. Layering these highly complex, multi-compound botanical profiles creates a heavy, unpredictable digestive load.
We have almost no data on the synergistic or antagonistic effects these combinations have inside the human gut biome. When you inevitably experience gastrointestinal distress, the sheer herbal complexity makes it impossible to isolate which specific powder is causing the issue. Your only option is a total protocol reset. To resolve stack bloat and eliminate the wasted spending, you need to apply a strict 3-step auditing framework. You identify overlaps to cut, establish deficiencies to keep, and cycle target compounds to consolidate. If you are an overwhelmed beginner or a symptom solver who buys pills based on influencer recommendations rather than personal lab data, pay attention to the first 2 steps. Apply the cut and keep rules. Ruthlessly strip your entire stack back to just 2 or 3 single-ingredient basics. Keep only the compounds that correct specific deficiencies proven by a recent blood test. The trade-off here is straightforward. You accept the loss of theoretical 1% marginal gains. In exchange, you secure a cheap, biologically safe, and highly sustainable baseline. For 90% of people, a minimal, scientifically proven baseline yields vastly better subjective well-being than an overlapping 15-pill regimen. If you are an advanced optimizer who genuinely wants to utilize powerful compounds like berberine or nattokinase, you have to learn to do so without inducing biological fatigue. You achieve this through the 1-in, 1-out rule. You are strictly required to remove an existing supplement from your protocol before you are allowed to add a new one. This requires cyclical dosing. You run a targeted compound for a strict 8-week period, track results, and cycle off to clear the system completely. The trade-off for the advanced user is discipline. This demands meticulous self-tracking and journaling, forcing you to sacrifice the psychological comfort of just swallowing a kitchen sink handful of pills every morning. Efficient biological optimization relies on how well your body utilizes a carefully curated minimalist stack. The goal is precision, ensuring every compound has a clear, documented purpose in your unique physiology.